Well, today we are finally going to remove these two large bushes in the middle. The ones in the end we're going to trim up, but these two large ones are going to be removed, and we're going to put some succulents, cacti. Not quite sure what's going to go out here, but we have not trimmed these for a very long time because we knew we were going to remove them. So, oh, the cactus in the middle, or actually I think that's a euphorbia, that's a candelabra cactus. But anyway, yeah, we'll see what it looks like when we're done. Well, I've got just a little bit of a start. My husband's going to be helping too. Well, he'll be doing most of the heavy part on this, but you can see it's going to be quite the job. So we'll just keep at it. We are making progress. Okay, the hard part is done. Well, maybe not. We have to dig the stumps out, but at least we got the bulk of the mess out of here. But you can see what a big area this is. So we will need a lot of plants to fill it up. So we'll see what we come up with. Okay, we are heading to the 11-1 nursery. They have great succulents and cacti there for really great prices. I'm excited about that. So we are going to pick up a few new plants for our new garden alongside the house. All right, we have arrived. Okay, that plant in the front is new. I'll go over the names of the plants when we're all done. This plant is a Yucca elephantypes. One of my viewers helped me to identify this plant, and if you want to see where I planted it, I will put a link up above and down below in the description box for the video. And we have these two plants here in the back. Quite a bit different looking from what it was, but we still need to trim those bushes on the end. Okay, Dave is digging the holes, thank goodness, because I think this ground is hard too. At least, you know, once you get about 3 inches down, it is. Once those plants get bigger, it should look pretty nice in here. But I will give you a complete tour of this when I'm done, and I'm also thinking of putting some Mangaves in here because I have a pot of a Mangave which has tons and tons of pups, and I think Mangaves would do well in here also. Okay, just as I suspected and expected, our soil is really hard clay. You just get an inch or two down below the top and you come to a real halt. So what we are going to do, I don't know if you can see this, we're going to run a hose in here and a small drip to soften up the dirt somewhat. But yeah, this is really bad soil. Okay, see you when they're planted. Okay, I'm going to haul this pot out of here, and that is going to go in the front. And so is that one, because I have too much stuff back here along the side. And those are going to go in the front because I think a couple of pots out there would look nice. Everything that I'm putting in that front garden is basically free except for 2 plants. If you look at the pots from this angle, it's just too busy looking with all the stuff out here. So I think they'll be much better in the front. All right, they're going in the hole. And we did add a little amendment to it.
I need more dirt.
a little narrow, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, we'll show you a little more in a little bit. Before we move this plant out front, I want to remove some of the pops. And you can see that this plant has a ton. It's going to be quite, oops, it's going to be quite the job. Hopefully we don't trash the plant. We're hauling it out with the wheelbarrow. We're getting the trees trimmed, or the bushes trimmed. All right, the project is finished. Let me show you what we did. I did plant a few new things in here. That is a cotyledon back there. And this plant here is Lady Slipper. That's been here, but I just wanted to tell you what that one is. Mine has not flowered yet. Okay, this is another cotyledon. And we put this group of 3 plants out here in pots. And we have it setting on some pavers, but we put this rock here to kind of cover up the pavers. Now this one has 5 blooms, and this was a cutting from my big cacti on the other side of the house, and I'll show you that. But here is tiger jaws. This is an opuntia, so I'll give you a full look of what it looks like from a distance. There it is. And you can see the bushes are gone. Okay, my husband trimmed these up into squares. Eventually I'd like to get rid of this too. And you can see the other one over there. Okay, this is new. This is a Euphorbia trigona. This is the green variegated one. There's also a ruby trigona, which I have in the backyard. That is new. And this we had here. This was here. Okay, now here are my pots from the backyard. And that is my Mangave, combination of a Manfreda and an agave. Now these tips, they break easily, or the leaves break easily. But I have them in big pots, and I have the ruby necklace in front, Othonna capensis. Back here, we put a sticks on fire. This is I think that's a crassula undulata. That one looks a little sickly. It's just a cutting. This here I pulled out from a garden that we had on the side by our driveway, and I had pulled it out about 3 months ago, and I just let it sit outside in the backyard in a little bit of shade. But anyway, it survived, and it's doing well. It's very sharp and pointy, and I thought this is the best place for us, so we would not, run into it. And we're thinking of putting mulch down in here. Okay, this is a new plant. That is cordyline australis, and there is another one over here. So these are doing really well. Yep, new growth in there. Everything's looking good. Here is another crassula undulata. This is a snow cactus, and this is actually a cutting from one that we have on the other side of the yard, and I will show you that. And what had happened, I had watered the one in the front, and I came out later and it was completely flopped down. It was actually too heavy, so we just took some cuttings off of it, and now this has been in here for about 2 weeks, and it's doing well. So, you can plant that as a cutting. I think that's a real pretty cactus. And of course here's the euphorbia that I had planted here a while back. I don't know what that spot is. Here's one here. It could be from the sun. Yeah, that could be from the sun. Same spot on this side. Okay. And there aren't any around. Now this is the candelabra. This is a euphorbia. Okay, a little spot up here on this side. That could be from the sun too. Let me look in the back side. Oh, some there. I hope this is not rotting. All right, let me give you, and the other plants we had here too, let me give you a full look from a distance. But you can see it's better than those two huge shrubs that I had. All right, we planted this approximately 2 weeks ago when the weather was a lot cooler and it was an overcast day, but all of these other plants were here. This one was here. Here's another sticks on fire we put in. Ooh, I got a thorn in my hand. I gotta pick that out. All right, this aloe was here, and this was here too. Let me give you a look down this way. My husband's out there also inspecting. But yeah, mulch would look good here. And there is another new plant that I did put in here. Believe it or not, for this whole entire section, we only paid about 40 bucks. I'm not counting my new little plants, but each one of these big ones here, that one and that one, we purchased at the nursery, and they were 20 bucks a piece. And pretty much everything else was a cutting or I brought in from the backyard. All right, let me get a little further down. A lot better than those huge shrubs. And once these get big, it'll look nice in here. Okay, let me show you where that snow cactus came from and where this guy came from. I chopped down a huge stalk, but I didn't want to plant the whole thing, so I just used the head. But I cannot believe that it is growing, or buds, blooms. All right, let me take you over to where the snow cactus was. Or is, actually. Okay, we just cut them off down at the bottom. You can see a cutting here, and it's already sprouted a new baby. And I think that was also a cutting, and it sprouted some new ones. Okay. Okay, this is where that cutting came from. I cut off a huge stalk, and because of that, it has put out all of this new growth, all of these. There, here, all of these little ones down there, back in here. So if you cut a stalk off, be prepared for more things to grow. Now this is where I cut it, and I don't know if you saw the video, but I cut this, no, actually what it was, I was out here weeding, and I lifted up my head. This one was here, and it was this one, and then it was slanted, and I was kind of underneath it, and I stood up, and I had all these thorns stuck in my head. They're pretty long. So anyway, my husband had to pull them out with tweezers, so I went ahead and cut that one down. I was kind of not happy that I got thorns in my head. But anyway, so, oh, and another little one we cut back there. You might be able to see it right there. So I cut two off. Oh, there's one there. Or maybe that's dying, I'm not sure. Okay, so just be forewarned, if you have this type of cactus, this is what'll happen when you cut a stalk off. Many more will grow. Okay, so there's the snow cactus. Here is this huge guy. Let me give you a full look. All right, let me take you over to one other section as long as I'm out here in the front. Okay, I have a few new plants in here. This variegated plant, which is now blooming, and I have some new hesperaloe that I put in. This is it right here. Here's another hesperaloe from one that I divided, and it is starting to get a bloom. And this is Cereus peruvianus monstros. Okay, and the other one over there. This is also another aloe that I recently put in here. Not aloe, hesperaloe. There's another one. And these little guys that I planted, okay, they're still really hard to see in here, but I think in the winter time, they will show up a lot better. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll give you a full look from a distance. And here's the other aloe. And what we plan on doing is maybe putting another big plant up in the front here, a few more big ones. So that is that section. And I might as well show you my native plants. Okay, this is the rock garden that my husband put in, dry stream bed. This is Penstemon spectabilis. And we have over here, I think it's called a Century Mercury, and it is getting buds for blossoms. So I'm not sure what color they're going to be, but I'm excited to see what that'll look like when they bloom. Here's the other one. Now you very rarely need to water these. I mean, if any. I think the first year you should do a little bit of watering. I think I'm gonna leave these seeds here for the birds. Okay, now this was a bush sunflower, and it was pretty tall. It was probably about 3.5 feet, but it was all bloomed out. And about 3 weeks ago, I cut it all back, and I have all of this new growth. This is a new one too. It's really pretty white flowers on it. If I can find the name of that one, I will put it across the screen. And this guy is about spent. And I'm going to leave these for the birds. In fact, I saw a lot of birds out here in the morning picking around on everything, which is kind of neat. But they get real pretty flowers. It's a straw, like a straw flower plant. And then the mallow over there on the right, and I think that's a sage that I have there on the left. Okay, so I'm really happy with the way things turned out. Once those sticks on fire get bigger, and the snow cactus and those two other plants, you know, on the left and the right of the snow cactus, I think it's going to look pretty good back in here. But, you know, when you're first starting out, you can't always go big, because buying a big, huge plant means big, huge money. So you just got to be a little patient and wait for things to grow. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching my channel. It'd be great if you could subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.